She rolled her eyes and said, "Another one here to waste our time." Yeah, that's what she said, loud enough for the whole bank lobby to hear. And the man she was talking about? An old black gentleman in a weathered jacket, sitting quietly in his wheelchair, just asking to see the branch manager. What she didn't know, what no one knew, was that he owned the damn bank. Let me back up a second. It was a Tuesday morning in Clearwater, Florida. The sun was pouring through the glass walls of Seabright Union Bank, giving the polished floors a kind of fake warmth. But trust me, the air inside? Cold. That corporate kind of cold, where people smile without ever meaning it. That morning, a man named Elijah Brooks, 65 years old, former finance consultant turned silent investor, rolled through the front doors like any other customer. His jeans were faded, his cap was pulled low, and his hands rested calmly on the wheels of his chair. To most, he looked like someone asking for change, but Elijah had come to take notes. See, Elijah had grown up during the tail end of the civil rights movement. His parents were spit on in Birmingham. His father had scars from police batons. And even after Elijah made his money, quietly, deliberately, he never forgot where he came from. That's why he visited his banks unannounced, pretending to be just another guy in the lobby, to see how his own people were treated. And today? Well, today was different. He paused near the reception desk, the low murmur of the lobby buzzing behind him. A mom and her kids scrolling on their phones, an old man sipping coffee, a woman in heels flipping through a planner. Behind the desk stood Chelsea. Mid-30s, platinum bob, that permanent smirk some people wear like it's part of their uniform. Her eyes flicked up at Elijah, his clothes, his wheelchair, his skin, then flicked right back to her computer. He said, "Good morning. I'd like to speak with the branch manager if possible." She barely looked up. "Do you have an appointment?" "No, but it won't take long. It's important." That's when she muttered it. "Another one here to waste our time." Right in front of everyone. Now Elijah didn't flinch. He just nodded slowly like he was adding it to a mental file. But the room shifted. The kid by the chairs looked up. His mom frowned. Even the woman with the planner, Margaret, her name tag said, lowered it slightly, her brows knitting. Chelsea rolled her eyes again and pushed a clipboard toward him. "Write your name. Maybe someone will get to you eventually." Instead, Elijah pulled out a tri-folded letter, real official, with the Seabright Union seal pressed into the paper, and slid it across the counter. "Please give this to your manager," he said, voice steady. Chelsea didn't even touch it. "We don't take random papers from people off the street," she said. "If you're not a client, you wait like everyone else." That's when it happened. A man named Javier Ruiz, Latino, mid-40s, client services, stepped out from a side hallway. He'd seen enough. His voice was low, but it cut through the tension. "Chelsea," he said, "maybe we should call Dana." Dana was the branch manager, and if she came out, well, things would shift fast. Chelsea glared at him. "I've got this. He's just trying to get attention." But Javier didn't back down. He walked around the counter, picked up the letter Elijah had offered, and opened it. His eyes widened. "This is from the board," he said. "Chelsea, get Dana, now." The lobby froze. Chelsea turned pale. "You mean this guy?" "That guy," a voice said from behind them, "is Elijah Brooks." Everyone turned. Margaret, the woman with the planner, stood tall. "He's not just a client. He's the reason this branch exists. He funds the whole damn thing." Elijah didn't say a word. He didn't have to. But Aisha did. She was one of the tellers, young, probably fresh out of college, soft-spoken. She had been recording the whole thing on her phone from behind the desk. Her hands were shaking, but her voice was clear. "She told him he didn't belong here," Aisha said quietly. "I wanted to speak up, but I was scared." Elijah turned toward her, his eyes soft. "You spoke now. That's what matters." And that was the twist. Aisha, who'd stayed quiet for months, who'd been brushed off in meetings, whose ideas were ignored, she stepped forward, and suddenly, she wasn't invisible anymore. That phone in her hand? It held every word, every sneer, every humiliation, and it was about to change everything. Then the door behind the counter opened. Dana Carter, the branch manager, walked in. Mid-50s, sharp, no nonsense. She looked around at the stiff lobby, at Chelsea's clenched jaw, at Javier holding the letter like it was a grenade. "Elijah," she said, her voice breaking into a smile. Why didn't you call first? He nodded once. Wanted to see it for myself. Dana took the letter, scanned it quickly, and her whole posture changed. Then she turned to Chelsea. Come with me, now, Chelsea stammered. Wait, I didn't know who he was. Dana didn't blink. That's not the issue. You treated a man, any man, like he was less than. That's the problem. They disappeared into her office. The door closed. The silence in the lobby? It was thick. Elijah turned to Javier. Thank you for stepping in. Javier just nodded. Didn't sit right with me. You did right, Elijah said. The next part? That's what turned the whole thing from personal to public. Elijah didn't just want Chelsea fired. No, that would have been too easy. What he proposed was bigger, a full overhaul of branch training, a new system called the Respect First Initiative, built with community leaders, focused on empathy, accountability, and service beyond appearances. Aisha would help lead it. Javier was promoted, and the bank launched a digital feedback board where clients could share stories, not just about service, but dignity. And Chelsea? Let's just say her badge was mailed back to her, along with a letter outlining exactly why she'd never work at another Seabright branch again. But the best part? 3 months later, at the local community center, Elijah stood on stage in front of a packed room. Clients, staff, city council reps, even students from the college across town. He wasn't in a denim jacket that day. No, he wore a blazer. His chair was polished, his voice calm, firm, and full of fire. I didn't come that morning to punish anyone, he said. I came to see if dignity was offered freely. It wasn't. But now, we're building something better. Aisha, standing beside him, beaming. Javier, clapping from the front row. Margaret Ellis, now a bank advisor, smiling like she knew all along. And that kid from the lobby, the one with his mom? He walked up after the speech and whispered, I want to be a lawyer now. Because of you. Elijah's eyes misted. He patted the boy's shoulder. Then do it. We need you. And that's the story. Of a man who rolled into a bank looking like he had nothing, but carried more power than anyone imagined. Of a young teller who found her voice. Of a system that got shaken from the inside. And maybe of a world that, just maybe, can change if enough of us are willing to call it out when it doesn't. Now it's your turn. Was Chelsea just following the rules? Or did she reveal something deeper about how we treat people based on looks? What would you have done if you were in that lobby? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We want to hear it. And hey, if this story moved you even a little, subscribe, hit that bell, and share it with someone who needs reminding. Dignity isn't earned, it's owed to every single one of us.